Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone is doing okay. Okay, tonight is going to be fun. Don't lose any of your food. Lean times are coming. I was watching a prophecy channel and he goes, people, lean times are coming. I go, and he said suddenly. And so I thought of a bunch of stuff that could cause lean times, and I thought I could see that. So I told you I want to can the meat in my freezer so I don't lose any. And so at the same time, since I had to attend to the meat, I made yogurt. Okay, so like what might possibly happen? Food shortages. All kinds of stuff can happen. Okay, here is the brisket. I had bought a brisket, and here's the brisket. I water bath canned it. I did it the Amish way, and I thought, okay. This was 1.5 pounds of brisket, so I thought, I think you need about 1 pound of meat for a pint. So since it was a little bit, okay, what I did is I stuffed all the meat in here. I'll tell you exactly how I made it. And then so I had a little more space, so I put onions on the top. And just to let you know, Dollar Tree has canning jars. They're good enough, you know. I can't find canning jars in the thrift stores. A couple years ago, so let's see how we got a nice seal here. Okay. Smells good. If you buy your meat marked down, okay, I bought this meat for $9.04 and it was $15.08. Okay, I bought a big roast because supposedly, I've been cheating my head off. Supposedly, I was on the carnivore diet, but it was so much beef that the dogs were helping me eat it. But that is not why. All right, this is looking pretty good. So this is 3/4 of a pound of brisket. Okay, let me show you what it looks like. I was going to make beef stroganoff, but so it's not too messy either. Okay, so I put the video on Rotostone X for you because I want to make sure you guys get it correct. So here's what happens. See that? Okay, so I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to make a little gravy. This stove has been cooking like crazy today. My one burner has just been horrible. I don't know what's wrong with it. Okay, so I have one left for later. All right, let me taste a piece of brisket and see how it feels. I just made this. Oh, my brisket's nice and tender. Okay. All right, that was good. I'm going to season with salt, with paprika, and with garlic pepper seasoning. So I think the way I'll do it is I'll just buy a couple canning jars every day or so, you know, and as I take the meat out of my freezer, if I don't eat it, it's not hard to do, you guys. Okay, so there could be shortages of food due to wars, due to strikes, due to hurricanes, due to crop failure. Okay, grid down. in which case there would be no electricity, so you would lose basically hundreds of pounds of meat. So since this isn't even 2 pounds, if you were able to can 50 cans, that's not that much. Cyber attacks, malicious deliberate attempts to breach information systems. That's going down if we have a grid down. Okay, I have some flour. Okay, biologic threats like COVID, like they're starting to report a few cases of the monkeypox, saying they want us to get vaccinated. I don't know about that one. Inflation. That's a bad one. I think a lot of people are, I think the this man who was saying don't lean times are coming, I think what he was talking, okay, it's starting to boil. What he was talking about was the food was going to get so expensive that people wouldn't be able to, this is some good beef broth if you're on the carnivore diet. Usually, like when I go on a keto or a carnivore diet, when it starts to get to me, I'll just take off for a couple of days. Okay, you can decide how thick you want it. I had some good noodles. I have some good like rigatoni. I was gonna make some noodles, but I couldn't find any. I know I have some, I just don't know where these noodles are. Today I was working quite a while on the food storage. I'm doing housework. Oh, I'll show you what I bought today. I'll be right back. This is nice. I'll be there in a second. I only bought 2 items. When I go to the gym, I don't have time to go to the thrift store. Is this thing still going? Okay, this looks pretty on my fireplace. Here it is. Oh, this is looking good. I'm gonna wreck my cook. Okay, so now I'll just put my rigatoni in. All right, let me show you. So this couldn't be easier. You could make this into a good beef stew. If I had thought of this, this would have been, oh, I can't say the dogs enjoyed it. They guard the house. I rent, so I don't want to have dogs because they can screw your house up, you know, and they're expensive, so that's another reason. Ooh, this looks good. So this is enough for probably 3 meals because it's 3/4 of a pound. So I will use a little garlic pepper seasoning. Okay. I really want to get my food cooked down. For one thing, freezing only slows the growth of microbes. It doesn't entirely halt the growth of microbes. And then I like to put paprika. If I would have had some sour cream, that would have been awesome. All right. Oh, this is looking pretty good. Okay, job loss, climate change. Okay, if you lose your job, it's going to be bad news. But if you store up a little food, like if you are going to be so glad you did if something happens to your job. Plus, you know, part of the thing of it's not just a matter of being cheap, it's like taking care of your resources so you don't go without in the future. So this is really pretty. I have some candles. I thought it was festive. Oh no. Some people should be more tidy. Oh. I know where it is, but I can't go get it. It takes so long. So this is a nice little 3 candle thing I bought. All right, so take a look at this with my homemade canned brisket. And this is so much better than the canned beef you buy. It's not that cheap. Okay, so I have one left for later. So let's see, biologic threats, climate change, job loss, inflation, gasoline shortage, thus taking up more money, leaving us less money for food, lean times, and spike in the heating costs. So I think the thing that we should do right now is save a little extra money. You know, winter is coming, the cold weather is coming, and they're going to take every opportunity to raise the price on everything. Some of it may not be entirely avoidable. I think famines would be expected in war-torn areas. Okay, so that is a quick dinner. I would suggest putting onions on the top just because it tastes good. Can the meat in your freezer. No pressure cooker needed. Dollar Tree jars. So, you know, you might not want to go and spend a lot of money. Okay, this is the video. Can the meat in your freezer. No pressure cooker needed. Dollar Tree jars. That's what I said. Water bath meat. And the channel is Make It Make. And so the girl explains it point by point in a very understandable way. Water, bath, meat, make it make. Okay, when my grandmother and my aunts used to can food, I don't remember a pressure cooker. That doesn't mean they didn't use one. Clean jars with super hot soapy water. And she suggests wide mouth jars, but I just found these cheap. And fully immersed jars. So cube the meat, and then you press the meat down, and you want to get it up here to this part. And so if it's not enough, you know, you can put some veggies on top. Good lids, new. I just used the ones that came with the jars, and they're brand new, so you know, here they are. Some of the old-time canners reuse the lids. I don't know about that, but if you have any doubts, you can just do a few jars and then you can keep them in the refrigerator. Put meat in jar and press down. So whether it's a quart or whether it's a 2-cup pint is 3 hours for both. Wipe the rim. They just use a dish towel, a clean dish towel, But I wipe mine with vinegar because, you know. But you're going to be boiling these cans for 3 hours. Okay, so you put the lid on and you just tighten them. It says finger tight, so it'd be like that. And you want to start with cold meat and cold water. And then if you don't have a rack, you can put a kitchen towel in. So here's the pan and here's the kitchen towel. Just set that in the bottom. Then put your jars on top. I just did 2. And then you bring it up to a roaring boil. And then you hold it there for 3 hours. And if the water evaporates, I kept a hot pan of water and I just poured it in if the water went down, because she said if the water goes lower than your meat could get tough or burn. About 2 or 3 times, then turn off the heat and let them cool a little. And that is it. So it couldn't be easier. If you get a chance to watch the video, you can do that. But these are the exact same instructions she gave, and I wrote everything down. Think about the olden days. You know, I would watch videos, and you know, they like in other countries, they use any jars and they boil the jars over an open fire, and it just didn't make any sense to me. But if you watch the Amish videos, it's going to make sense to you, even if you're a city slicker. And if more hurricanes and bad weather come, here is the Kroger pasta, and there's a good recipe. Let me give it to you in case you want to try this. Also, they have instructions on how to can everything: meat, tomatoes, applesauce, jam. So I will be doing that. And then I made yogurt, and I decided why not put it in my jars. Let's see, I think it's almost, yeah, it's ready. So I have lids. Okay, so I made 2 jars because I had about 3.5 cups of shelf-stable milk, and I had a Kroger yogurt, so I wanted to use that. So this is great because now I have quite a bit of yogurt. You could make it, you could let it get thicker, but this is good enough. So while I was boiling, okay, now when you boil your jars for the meat, you really need to have it at a roaring boil. That's going to kill, how they explained it is it's going to kill all the bacteria, and it's going to create pressure and seal your jar. Okay, now for the yogurt. Turn the oven on to the lowest setting as soon as it shows a temperature of 100 or a little lower. Turn it off. So the lowest setting I have is 170, but at 130 it showed, so I turned it off and I left the door open. So what I was trying to do is create a warm atmosphere for my yogurt. So then I wash my jars good, and when the oven was warm, I put my jars in there to warm them up for the yogurt. When the oven is warm, slip the jars in the oven and shut the door. Take the yogurt out of the refrigerator and let it get room temperature. Heat a large pan of water, just a saucepan, Really hot, a roaring boil, cover and slip into the oven with the door closed. So you're warming your oven. Heat the milk until it bubbles but not boiling. Hold it there 20 to 30 minutes. I usually go 30 minutes. You can use evaporated milk. You can use regular milk. Also, there's videos on how to can milk. So instead of taking up space in my freezer, the next time I find good deals, I will can the milk. Turn the milk off once you've been holding it to almost boiling, 20 to 30 minutes. And turn the milk off and cool the temperature of a warm bath. So you're cooling your nearly boiling water down to, like, you know, like how you test the milk on your wrist for a baby. Then stir in your yogurt and stir it good. So I had a small whisk, so I went half and half, and I stirred that up good. Get the jars out of the oven, add the milk and yogurt, slip back into the oven, cover with foil. I'll put the lids. I save the, if you have, this is a rack. If you have the right size pan, you could slip your rack in there instead of a dish towel. And then I'll just slip my lid in and my rim on there, and my yogurt will be good to go. And usually you would process it overnight, but you know, I was boiling. Reheat large pan of water. So while you're making your yogurt, if your large pan of water is cold, starts getting cold, reheat it. And also cover your yogurt in your pan with a bath towel. Okay, now I want to talk about things we can do. Okay, so say if we know, you know, maybe famine or hard times are coming, maybe prepare wood. If you have a fireplace, either buy it or gather it because it has to dry. And also, if you know where you can just pick the acorns up off the ground, just start collecting them and just throw them in a pail. And if you never have to eat them, well then, you know, you can donate them. Save your meat fat. So this is good because I have my meat fat in my gravy that I made by just adding a little flour and, you know. Okay, now for the year-round garden, you can grow year-round cherry tomatoes, radishes, green onions. Also, the guy who mentioned the food scarcity mentioned oregano, mint plants, and my peppers are hardy. All right, let me give you a shot of this page. So I am going to be canning everything in your, so if you have some roast or some hamburger or some pork or some chicken legs, some vegetables, some fruit. In my freezer is mostly cheese. So I would like to get it out of my life and clean my freezer out. And then once I can the meat, I don't have to be constantly, you know, buying. I mean, I've got a lot of meat, so maybe you're like me and you don't want to lose the contents of your freezer. Okay, I'll show you what I'm doing now. I'm selling books, and this is a nice book I got. And so I like to buy them for $1 and sell them for $10. So what I want to do is create like a bookstore. They're saying what's going to happen, and I believe it, is that eventually we could get a shortage of books because the vendors are going to buy all the books up. So I think that's true. I mentioned to you guys my brother has 10,000 art books. As to where he got them, I'm not sure. So be thinking all the time, how can I earn some extra money, you know, like if you know how to can, or you know how to make special stuff that could really, if you do know how to make special stuff, and you do have, like, that's good for like food shortages, like in food storage, if you can leave it under the comments so we can all watch it, that would be super helpful. Okay, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And God bless you all.